Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also I want to thank all my patrons. I do greatly appreciate everything that you provide to the channel. Funds to get fun gear so that I can review, and also for all the discussions that we have on Discord and also on Patreon. So if you want to become a patron of the channel and support it, check out the links down below. I want to thank inToit Reviews for sending over today's gear to be reviewed, and do greatly appreciate it. Check out a link down below for inToit Reviews channel. If you haven't already, give him a subscription. Today we are going to talk about the Tin Hifi T3. Hi folks, Dave with dbstechtalk, and the Tin Hifi T3 was sent over by inToit Reviews. Do greatly appreciate it. Tin Hifi has been kind of a hit or miss for me when it comes to their products I've heard so far. Heard the P1, wasn't a big fan of that, and then the T4 was technically a really good headphone. It was just a little bit on the bright side, and wasn't an easy listen for me. So does the T3 change that? The Tin Hifi T3 comes in a very nice, easy to open box, and on the front you have, a little bit of display of the earphones, and then when you open it up you get the little Tin Hifi box, which is more like a book. There you go, you can see the earphones in there. It opens up, you get a little tray that has your IEMs on it, and then you get a couple bags of tips. In fact, it looks like 3 bags worth of tips, and you get a cable and some warranty paperwork, which we won't worry about. The cable, I do have to mention, is mega nice. This is probably the nicest cable that has come with a earphone sub $100 that I have felt. This is in crazy good quality, nice and thick braid. You've got an aluminum housing with some carbon fiber look on it here, 3.5 millimeter little Tin Hifi branded strap. Then it goes to a split, and you have this nice little slider chin cinch that actually works and stays in place. You have a little bit of branding on the split itself, and the ear hooks are very soft and easy to maneuver, not too stiff, not too loose. They're just about right, and it is MMCX, and there's very light markings for left and right, but overall that's by far the nicest cable for a sub $100 IEM. The IEMs themselves are extremely small, and you've got red and blue markings to indicate left and right. It's kind of a bullet shape, but it goes over your ear, so it's interesting. Somewhat of a small nozzle, kind of a wide bore, not too bad. And the tips that come with it, the stock tips, aren't bad, but I found that they just didn't sit in my ear quite right, couldn't get quite the right seal, so I went with the RHA dual densities. The cables themselves, if we can figure out which one is which. Sorry, inToit, didn't mean to drop that. Do apologize. It just clicks in with MMCX. And we'll just edit out that drop. Yeah. Anyways, all right. So the connections of them and comfort when they go over your ears, I just find them to be extremely comfortable. They just go in, flop over the ear, and boom, off you go. Don't have the greatest isolation of outside noises, probably about 50% or so. I think that TinHiFi said something around 19 dB, something along those lines. So it works okay for light office work and semi-noisy situations, buses and planes and stuff, but it's not the best. But speaking of what is the best, the sound. I find that the TinHiFi T3s are exceptional. I'll spit it out. The TinHiFi T3 has a neutralish sound signature to them, and it does lean a little bit on the brighter side, but it doesn't bother me at all. I'm actually really in love with the TinHiFi T3. So the bass is somewhat on the more linear side. It does have some sub bass extension to it. You do get some nice texture and tone in it, but you don't have a whole lot of girth or impact. But when it's called upon, you do know that there are notes and sounds and things like that that exist down there. It just doesn't present it in a very authoritative way. Mid bass and upper bass are a little more prominent than sub bass, but they're not elevated in any way. I mean, they're pretty flat. Tones are very nicely done, very accurate and very detailed. You get a nice texture to it and a slight bodiness to it. They're not really pounding deep, full body, blow your ears off type of impact, but it will give you some nice body and entertainment and enjoyment factor in the bass. Overall, I find that the bass just does what it's supposed to do, stays out of its way, and shows extremely good control and very good decay, and has a natural timbre and tonality. Mids. The mids on the TinHiFi T3 are just lush and fun and very good clarity and detail. They have exceptional timbre and tonality to them. These sound very natural. When you have them in, it sounds like the singer is singing right at you. The vocalist is right there. Sounds like he's in the room or she's in the room. It sounds very natural. Instruments are the same way. Pianos and guitars, violins, cellos, everything just sounds like it should. Brass instruments have a nice crispness to them. Woodwinds have a little bit of a grit to them. Everything just sounds the way they should, and you get nice bite in a piece in an instrument when there should be, and it doesn't add in anything and sound artificial. It just sounds the way that they would in real life. Upper mids and lower treble region are a little more forward than the rest of the mids, and it brings forward the vocals and just adds presence, details, and all of that just come through in a more forward way, but are not overbearing. They're not shouty. They don't become sibilant. Every now and then you'll hear a little bit of harshness, a little bit of sharpness, but it's very few and far between in the tracks. They're very revealing, and so if your track has a lot of, if it's a bad recording, you're going to know it. The TinHiFi T3 does a good job of revealing the details and revealing the flaws of a track. Treble is nice and airy, extends out decently, does roll off at the higher ends, but to me the treble is smooth, has a nice energy, has an airiness to it. Everything just sounds natural and coherent. Between the treble, the mids, and the bass, it's a very smooth transitions. Everything just flows with the TinHiFi T3. I really do not have any complaints other than just a little bit of harshness and graininess in the mid section. But for the most part, I find them to be very smooth and non-fatiguing. I really do enjoy these. I do think that if you are sensitive to treble and you don't like a brighter sounding headphones, the T3 may come across as being too bright for you, but I didn't find it to be as bright as a T4. If you are a bass head or a lover of thick bass, the T3 won't be for you. It is a little bit on the more leaner, linear side. Soundstage and imaging is actually probably my second favorite part amongst the T3, along with the mids. I find that the soundstage on these is not the widest. They're not, but they're more than average for a IEM, especially in this price point. But what they do really well is isolate and separate out instruments, and then they have really good depth and layering. You get good height in the imaging area, and things just kind of move around on the stage, and you can place where things are very well. You can determine if somebody's standing behind the other person, if they're playing instruments or playing one in front of the other, one's closer to a microphone, one's not. They do a really good job in that. And then you can also pick out each instrument. And on busier tracks, it doesn't get cluttered or muddled or jumbled up. They do a very good job of staying in control in their imaging and details. And so the TinHiFi T3 I really do enjoy. A couple of other IEMs to compare in this price point are the iBasso IT01. The iBasso IT01 is a little bit more on the V-shaped side of it. Mids will sound just a little bit more recessed, and the iBasso IT01s are a brighter headphone in the treble, but they have a very good clarity and detail. You do have more bass presence on the iBasso. And then the other one would be the Fiio FH1S. The FH1S will have a warmer tone to them and it will sound a little bit stuffy compared to the TinHiFi T1. T3. The TinHiFi T3 will have a little bit more air and just a little bit more life to them. They won't sound quite as boring as the FH1S do. So overall, do I recommend the TinHiFi T3? Yes. The TinHiFi T3 is my favorite of the TinHiFi products that I have heard. I find that it just plays very well with my preferred sound. I enjoy the neutral-ish sound signature of it, and I enjoy the fact that the treble is very well controlled, but also gives really good details and air, and has just a little bit of sparkle and energy in it. And then the mids are slightly forward and have very good clarity and details in the mids, and then the tonality and timbre of the bass, mids, and treble all together just are very coherent and smooth. So I really do enjoy the TinHiFi T3. If you're looking for a sub $100 IEM that's a more neutral, detail, airy sound signature, the TinHiFi T3 should be a consideration. This has been Dave with DBS Tech Talk. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next videos, somewhere on the screen is a subscription link and notification bell. If you haven't already, please check those off. Check out the links down below for inToit Reviews channel, also for Patreon, PayPal, Discord, links to the products listed, and also to links to reviews of the Fiio FH1S and the iBasso IT01 and the TinHiFi P1 and T4, and then all kinds of other links, playlists, and all kinds of good stuff. Thanks. Have yourself a great day. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks.